going to tell you a little bit about who I am. I'm going to tell you about the clerk's office. I'm going to tell you about why I'm running, and why this election is so important. So, who am I? So I'm Andrew Harrison, running for Marion County Clerk. I live on the south side of Indianapolis. I've lived there about 25 years. Married to Sharon. I have a son. His name is Max. He doesn't live with me, but he's with me. I've lived, like I said, in Indianapolis about 25 years, all south side, and I've been serving in a lot of different ways in the background. So I've been, as Joe said, I've been serving on different boards and committees, finding ways to get involved, serving on some of the hardest boards that I've ever served on in my life, believe it or not. Little old Southport, love Southport. Public Safety Board, Parks Board. Parks Board was the absolute most challenging job I ever had in my life. More challenging than the job I get paid to do. Being on a parks, but people care about some parks. They really do. It's playgrounds and just greenery. I had no idea. I had to go to school big time in that. So, and then I had the opportunity to serve on my first Marion County board, and that really gave me kind of that itch to get even more involved in Marion County. It was just kind of a little slither of involvement, but it was, say this word 5 times, I'll pay $5, I'm not gonna pay anybody, but Marion County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Planning Committee, say that 5 times. And so what is that? That's a FEMA board, right? Most people don't know that this exists. There's hundreds of millions of dollars, FEMA dollars out there, that all these cities that decided not to be part of UNICEF, Southport, Speedway, Lawrence, Beech Grove, I think I'm missing one, maybe not, I think that's it. Decided to be their own cities, and if they don't have a seat at the table, they're not going to get any of this FEMA grant money. This grant money is for floodplains and all kind of great things, right? So I was that representative from Southport sitting on this committee, this Marion County committee, trying to go get FEMA money for the city of Southport, and I was successful to get Southport a lot of really cool things like CERT, Community Emergency Response Team, things of that nature. So anyway, so that led me into wanting to serve more. Being on boards and committees is fun, but I feel that the time is right for me now to kind of get in front of that and get way more involved, because I'm not happy with the way the city's going. I'm not happy any more than anyone else in this room is. This city is a mess. We're in trouble, and to Cindy's point, the leadership here is just awful. And we are all trying to make a difference and do something about that. So a little bit more about me. What do I do for a living? I do global security for a living. Really do something called global business resilience. That's a kind of a new fancy word now for a post-COVID era. So we used to be global security, and that was cool enough. Now it's global business resilience, because when COVID happened, we had to send, for my company, 200,000 employees home and kind of figure out how do we stay alive as a company and still be profitable, right? So global business resilience. So safety, security, run into crises and still be profitable, still give our associates and our employees the opportunity to still work. So global business resilience is a new term now that's really kind of taking shape and mold in my industry. So what does that really equate to on any given day for me? For me, it's I handle the Americas and APAC, so I handle everything from Canada down to Argentina, and everything from China down to Australia. So I got about 120 facilities I'm responsible for. I got 7 direct reports all over the world, very diverse team. And then I've got hundreds of contractors that report to me, and I've got a multi-million-dollar budget I'm responsible for. So on any given day, and I'll tell you about this today, give you an example of just a little glimpse of my day. On any given day, I touch every spoke on the security spectrum. This is all gonna kind of segue into where I'm going and why I'm running here. I do executive security, I do physical security, I do travel security, I do crisis management, and I do cybersecurity. So I do all of those things. Not all on any one given day, but sometimes that's a really bad day. If I have to touch every one of those spokes, that's a really tough day. And I got a lot of folks and a lot of experts that are way smarter than me that help me with some of those things. So today, for example, just to give you a little glimpse of my day, today was very much a crisis-oriented day. I don't like those days, because those days you wake up and you have a plan, I'm gonna get these 15 things done, your day just gets derailed and you got 60 other things going on. Everything from the energy crisis going on in Europe to the satellite they're going to crash into an asteroid to test. I'm really worried about that one, believe it or not, because Armageddon, that movie, they are testing it tonight at 7 o'clock to see what happens. I don't know if you're not following that. You want to turn on the news tonight, that's interesting. It's really happening to our tax dollars. There's that, and then there's a typhoon that's hitting Asia right now. So I've been on calls since 5 or 6 this morning dealing with that. And then we have hurricanes, a whole bunch of them, string of them, left and right, about to hit Florida. So So I've been on the phone with our facilities in Florida. So that's a little glimpse of my day. So I take security, I hope it's coming out of me here, very, very seriously. I'm very passionate about it. It's all I know. And it's something I don't take lightly. So for me to run for county clerk, before I get into that, does anyone here really know what a county clerk is or does? You do, Marcia? Oh, you don't?
No, I know a little something about it.
Okay. You do?
Yeah.
What does a clerk do?
Well, I looked up the definition when you started to run for it.
Oh, okay. So, well, I didn't know really what a clerk did, I'll be honest. So some people do, so that's great. Thanks for researching it. So a county clerk's really three core functions, and those are not the only functions, but these are kind of the three main areas. Chief election officer for the county, it's a big, big deal. We'll come back to that in just a minute. Chief financial officer for the court system. So all these millions of dollars that are flowing through the courts, from civil matters, from criminal matters, you name it, child support, it's all flowing in from life events, all these things that are happening. Chief financial officer for the court system, and then the chief custodian of court records. So a lot of data that's being protected, physical data, and then data that's protected on servers. So that's really the three core areas. So that chief election officer component, I want to touch on that one just for a brief moment, because that one really strikes a chord with me. Now, we do have an election board here in Marion County, so it's supposed to be bipartisan. But the chief election officer of the county, this is the person that's responsible to make sure that we have elections, that polls are staffed, that poll locations are open, that they're certifying the elections. This is a big responsibility. This is not something to be taken lightly. And it's very, very important that this person is bipartisan. You cannot have someone in this office that is partisan. Regardless of how you feel about things, you have to be able to deliver the truth. If we're going to have free and fair elections in this country and in this county, you have to have someone that understands that. And I have to make those kind of decisions every day. If I agree with them or not, I have to make those decisions. If I like them, absolutely despise them. If it's right, wrong, whatever, I've got to still execute. So that's why I understand that component. There is no politics with me in that office. So what I'm up against is a challenger, nice lady, I've met her. She was recently the party chair, so she was essentially the equivalent of Joe for the Democratic Party. So that's a very partisan role, right? And she is running for the Marion County Clerk of the Court office as we speak. She just recently resigned from her county chair role because of so much pressure from the community and certain minority groups basically wanted her to resign. And so she did, and she could have did it any time, but she waited here as we get closer to the election. Nice little political stunt, political move, that's all it is. And what concerns me, that just hit me the other day, it scares me even more than what was going to happen, is what just happened. And what just happened is that the new chair for the Democratic Party, the new Joe, if you will, is the current Marion County Clerk. So we're right, it's no different than where we were going. We're now there. You now have a Marion County Clerk that is now a Democratic Party chair that is going to be there come the midterm election. That's going to be there to certify elections. And if you don't think for 1 second that there's some partisan component there, I'll just leave it at that. You can draw your own conclusion. I don't have any facts to back up any accusations, so I'm not making any, but that bothers me a lot. And if there's any reason, from public safety to the recorder's office to the circuit court to sheriff to Congress, if there's any reason to get out the vote, here's yet another one. We've got to get the right people in these positions. We've got single party leadership in this county. It's completely just atrocious. It's failing us left and right. I don't need to tell you what's going on in the city. You all live here, you see it, you feel it, you know what's going on. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing will change if nothing changes. And we can't do it. We can't do it without you. We just can't. And we really can win. This delta is not that huge. Everybody thinks, it's just no chance. That's not true. That's not true at all. Winning is within our grasp if people actually come out and vote. It can actually happen. It really can. So that's what Cindy said. I'm going to piggyback off that. We need everyone to carry the message. I hate to plug social media because I can't stand social media. Forward social media, like stuff, repost stuff, take signs, host events, donate if you can, spread the word. But it's the only way that we're going to get change in this county. So that's why I'm running. That's a little about the clerk's office. And for me, if I get elected, one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to treat it just like I do any other Fortune 100 event, if you will. That's what I work in, is in the Fortune 100 environment. And I say that a lot. What does that really mean? That's a big deal to be a Fortune 100 company, by the way. That's not, like a little gas station here. Fortune 100 is kind of the elite. So it's tough. It's very, very tough. It's very stressful. But I would do a SWOT analysis on day one. So I would identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I'd go after low-hanging fruit, things that we can fix real quick, fast. Said you plugged up just because no one's doing their job. I'd clean that up real quick, and then I'd kind of start building those strategies and those plans to kind of tackle those, larger initiatives that are going to maybe take some money and some more support and some more influence, and try to change those things and do everything in my power to influence things, like not allowing, no offense, Joe, not allowing folks like Joe, not Joe, but party chairs to seek these positions of power or of authority, especially the chief election officer of the county. You cannot have that. It's just cannot happen. So, and the other thing I would do is, I always say SWAT P, but that doesn't kind of rhyme right, but I would assess the politics in office. It doesn't mean that if you're a Democrat or if you're a libertarian that you're fired. It doesn't mean that at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not a house cleaning kind of guy. I'm going to need a lot of those people. There's some good folks there that are Democrat, libertarian, neither, whatever. Some really good folks there. But I'm going to assess the politics in that office. And if you can't show me that you're truly bipartisan in what you do, you can't be there. You just can't. And you can't be part of my team, that's for sure. Because I need someone that understands that. I need some folks on my team that understand that, I should say. So that's it. That's why I'm running, and I can't thank you all enough for being here. And I want to say thank you to the gold sponsors that sponsored my event. Sadly, we have a police officer that recently passed, and a lot of folks couldn't make it here tonight. I hope she rests in peace, and God bless her and her family. But I want to thank my mom for sponsoring this event, and my sisters. Thank you, Mom, for reminding me, and my sisters. I want to thank Sharon's family for being a gold sponsor. For also, they weren't able to make it. They're actually flying to Florida to deal with her grandma, who's really ill, actually in a hurricane environment. So my thoughts are in there. My prayers are with them as well. And my aunt's here, and can't thank Gunny Wayne. Gunny's a rank in the Marine Corps, by the way. He was a Gunny sergeant. It's a big deal. Can't thank Gunny enough. And I can't thank Joe and Joel and my fellow candidates enough for all their support. And Derek Carhill, he is the Perry Township. So I live in Perry. This is kind of like where it all starts for me right here is with Derek. It goes Derek and then Joel and then Joe. That's kind of where it starts for me because I'm a Perry person. That's where I live. So that's all I have to say. I'm going to give, since we have just a few moments here, I want to give Barsha and Tiffany an opportunity